Good, finally.
Sorry about that. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
Oh boy. No, my Comcast just went down, so I had to reboot it.
Yeah, now I have to do a whole two-step. I have to do more in the process to sign on than just joining and signing in.
Okay, well, I think we're everyone is here. Let me
I don't see,
look.
I don't see Wendy.
We don't see Wendy, so let's wait a couple of minutes for Wendy. I will text her. If I drop this connection, I will come back on. I've had to reboot my laptop too when Comcast went down. Okay.
Is everyone having issues with Comcast? My downloads are really sluggish.
I had an issue last night. I was watching streaming the Red Sox game because if you stream NESN 360, you can get it in super high resolution as opposed to getting it over Comcast. And about five times, all the videos seemed to get very blurry. And then I went and checked my Ookla to see what it was going, and it definitely showed the download speeds were dropping. They would go down for like 10 or 15 seconds and then go back up again.
Yeah.
So I assume it could have been Nesson, but it could have also been heavy usage in the area.
Yeah, I've always seen that on occasion, John, not very often. Lately, things have been fine here.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this in quite a while, but it is, the beginning of August, and there's a lot of,
Yeah.
a
Well,
lot of activity.
I've seen
So
it on Nesson before, and half the time I think it's Nesson, to be honest with you.
it could be. I didn't compare it to another channel. Just when it happened, I went on my phone has got the Ookla speed test app on it, and I just dialed it up because I get Nesson 360 through the wireless connection in my house, so it's the same thing. So I saw the speed like going up and down and up and down. It would peak at like 600, and then it would go down and it'd drop to 200 and then go back up to
Yeah.
it.
Well,
It was
you got the new Nesson 360 app, right? Because I think
right.
the new one is way better than the old one.
Yes, it doesn't make me sign in every 3 days.
Well, there's that, but I think it also it does the 4K and the HDR. It does the high res a lot better than the old one did, what I've noticed.
Yeah, for the most part, it's pretty good. This is the first time in a while that I've seen this, so I was just
Yeah.
curious, and I was wondering because of the fact that it was dropping out,
Yeah, I
whether
agree.
there was a problem with Comcast. And like I said, I just saw normally I get very solid numbers, but it was like you'd watch it, it would go, you know, 400, 700,
Huh.
200, and then it would come back. Maybe they were doing some work. I don't know.
Well, I did get a text from them yesterday, I think. Yeah, that they were doing work in the area.
I hope that's the explanation because I had one time and I was sitting next to the modem when it dropped down to 20. I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. I tried to call Wendy and I cannot get a call out on Verizon right now. Uh, God help us. So I just sent her a text and it hasn't been delivered yet. Oh, there it is. It just got delivered, like 30 seconds after I sent it. So Verizon is having constipation issues too. Um, well, we will give her 5 minutes here. And uh, Jennifer's on board. Bourne Community TV is here. So I presume she will start the official recording when I go ahead and convene the meeting, which is not yet. I'll give Wendy a few minutes to see uh, if she can respond to the text. Just a side note, I got a solicitation from T-Mobile to see if I wanted to sign on with FWA or join FWA from them. So I said, sure, send me the information. Then they said, okay, we'll check. And then they sent back, unfortunately, we are unable to serve your address. So any port in the storm, so to speak. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start. Bourne Community TV will be recording this, so Wendy can put together minutes from that. Um, and I still don't seem to be able to get on from my laptop. So I guess I'm doing this call over Verizon right now because I cannot get on Comcast. Okay. Yeah. Joy to the world. Um, I'm going to have somebody read off the agenda because I can't do both that on the I will try to do it on the TV screen. I'm turning my video off. You've seen me before, only so as I bounce the thing around in my hand, I don't want to get anybody to become seasick. And I'm going to pull up the agenda here. Um, but I'm just going to do attendance for the record. I'm going to convene the meeting here at 9:19 officially. And I'm looking over the folks who are online. We have myself, Robert Dwyer, the chair, Jed Johnson, the vice chair, our secretary clerk, Wendy Howland, is absent, hopefully only temporarily. Uh, Brian McCarter, John Frank. And also we have our mentor, Anne Marie Sarunian, from member of the select board. And with that, I'm going to move down the agenda. I am going to postpone any discussion of past minutes without Wendy being present, if that's okay for folks. Anybody have anything urgent from past agendas that they or past minutes that they want to discuss right now that can't wait until another meeting? Hearing none, I think we'll go forward. I do not want to delay review and finalization of minutes for too long. We've
Folks,
had
I just have to leave for about a minute. I'll be right back.
okay,
All right.
1 minute here, and I think I actually can get my agenda up here.
Can you see my screen?
1 moment.
Yeah. The only thing with that, Anne Marie, is that Jen has reported that you can't see it on TV. Although I don't know if
Oh,
they've got the new HD running yet,
yeah.
but in the old, it would basically just be a big blur. That was in the past. I don't know if anything's changed on that, but that's something she had mentioned before.
Well, I think what we can do is we'll just read off the agenda items to let folks know. For anybody who is following along on Bourne Community TV, you can find the agenda by going online to the Bourne calendar, clicking on today's date, August 7th, going down to, well, will be the first thing on it for 9 a.m. for the SciTech meeting. You click on that, and you will see the agenda posted there. Um, and you can download that, etc. Put that in your files, but those are available for any of our meetings, just for future reference. Again, if anybody is, I don't see anybody online right now, but for future reference, we don't monitor chat or anything like that. If you come online as a citizen participant, and you have a question after the board has discussed a particular agenda item, just raise your hand or wave your hand in front of the screen so that we can see you, and I will recognize you and entertain your comment or question on any one of the agenda items. With that, Jed, if you would just go ahead and bring up that agenda again, or I guess Anne Marie again, you can do that, and I will just read off the agenda items as they come down. Anne Marie, can you bring that
You
back
still
up
want
again?
me to share it, even
Well,
though?
Yeah.
if you share it and then temporarily, I guess, and then just take it down while we talk. How's that?
Yeah.
Is that
That sounds
reasonable?
that sounds good.
Sure.
Um, it's been a while, but the next item after minutes is a review of any public correspondence. And it's been a while since we've met. And Anne Marie, has anything come into the town at all in terms of public correspondence?
The only thing that's really come in is that um Marlene announced that the short mini digital equity grant has been submitted prior to the deadline. So we wait, obviously, now through for that process. there was another inquiry about the monopole in a
Mhm.
letter that was sent by the planning board, stating that we had supported.
Yeah, I saw it up there on the website.
So it was on the Cape Cod Commission. So
Hmm.
we're working through, I don't recall this committee making any recommendation to the select board via vote or letter to support the monopole. And so so we're working through getting another letter and redacting some of the language. So I'll keep you updated on how that whole process, because it subsequently, caused a little bit of a stir.
Okay. Um,
And there was no recommendation by this committee, there was no vote by the select board, but there was language in a letter to that effect. So we're revamping, redacting some language. Marlene's handling that letter.
okay. Well, and once again, just communicate back to the administration and the select board that we stand by to advise on any of this to the extent that we have knowledge. Clearly this is not part of the statutory duties of the this committee, but we do have enough knowledge about it that we might be able to provide some free advice to the select board.
Right.
Um,
And Ray, just as a point of information, I did submit a comment as a private citizen in support of the monopole.
And that's perfectly fine, John.
Right.
This was, the language was such that the committee, right?
Yeah, no, I don't. The committee didn't make a recommendation. We didn't feel the need to forward anything to the select board on this
Yeah.
unless they asked us to.
Right.
Just really quickly, this may be an abbreviated meeting if Wendy doesn't attend. Brian just informed me he is essentially participating in the care of his father, not quite at bedside, but close. And he has a physician's meeting at 10 a.m. So if he signs off at 10 a.m., we don't have a quorum and we are done. So I want to get through the one item that we have on old and ongoing business, which is the next item down, is BEAD and GAP funding. And there have been major changes that have happened to this. And I've been trying to keep up with the changes. And frankly, I'm uh, behind the ball on this. It's very complex. I am going to turn it over to Brian, who's been tracking this carefully, to walk us through this. And if we run out of time, I'm just going to table the rest of the agenda and have to adjourn us, if that's okay, just to give everybody a heads up. So we have on the order of 30 minutes here to discuss all the changes in BEAD and GAP. Brian, I turn it over to you.
Major might be might be a headline risk there. MBI has done a lot of work to comply with the new requirements while minimizing the disruption to BEAD. So a lot of the changes are around in real world terms around the edges, even though a lot of the language has changed. So they've added some interesting things to try to comply with this technology neutral approach. That is to deprioritize fiber and just go straight technology neutral. So what they've done to try to compensate for this is they've added I'll call it like a performance target 4 years from now, that whatever tech you use has to be able to reach 1 gig down and up 500 up within 4 years.
Brian, I'm going to interrupt for 1 second again. For anybody who's watching this on TV or is going to watch a recording on TV, the big change is that this was in late June. The Secretary of Commerce announced that they were essentially pausing a lot of the BEAD and other grants, and that they were going to go, instead of bias, as they called it, towards fiber and future proofing of fiber. They were going to go with the essentially the cheapest technology. I guess that's the way around that. And much of that is low Earth orbit satellite, which is Starlink and maybe Amazon in a bit. What's their system? Kuiper.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
so that's
Amazon satellite. So yeah, the idea is every state was forced to do an additional round of BEAD. Um, and so, the benefit of the bargain round that was technology neutral. And so, MBI knowing that 500 people could swamp the satellites, if you patched them on the Cape, you can already be starting to push the limits. They're going to need a narrative of how your technology can meet these speeds within 4 years, plus the latency requirements. So, like I could see it basically making the fixed wireless that, say, OpenCape's proposing clearly fits the requirements since, they have sufficient backhaul, they have not oversubscribed, that kind of thing. So, there's certain pluses here because that becomes basically completely allowed, even though, we knew that there was no economical way to do fiber to facets, and to do it that way is how OpenKey was going to do it, and that would work. So MBI has mitigated a lot of the issues by adding this requirement. That requirement has been edited already by NTIA because they didn't like a few of the words, but it's been reworded slightly, but it's still effectively within 4 years, 1 gig down, 500 up, to be a priority broadband project, which is, the first bucket. It might even be a difficult standard for even cable to reach, unless they go up another rung technology-wise. So I think it gives the state a little bit more flexibility, while still making sure they're only spending money on really good solutions. The other area we got to watch out for is the CAI rules have changed slightly. They basically kiboshed a lot of the flexibility of the community support organizations. So this is everything that's like, not a hospital, not a police station, not a government building, not all of those that were pretty clear cut. This was the category where basically any community support organization, could be qualified. We did a lot of AA buildings. That's been limited to only the ones that host digital equity programs with government dollars, is roughly how that works out too. So we were thinking of talking with the AA people to see what kind of digital equity programs they use, and if government dollars pay for it, because that could be a way to keep most of the CAIs that we added in Bourne that are at risk based on this. So that's an action item we'll have to sort out. But overall, it looks like MBI managed to, while fully complying with the new rules, mitigate any real harm here, honestly.
Brian,
I'm sorry, I had a question.
Go ahead, John.
At one point I read that it said that the 1,500 number that had to be reached in 4 years had to be available at all BSLs. Is that correct? In other words, every house that could get broadband would have to get that. Okay.
1,000 by 500 is pretty good. I'd take that.
I take that too. I can't imagine, I mean, at the moment, and Jed may know more about this than I do, that's reachable with the existing satellite technology that's out there, or for that matter, FWA.
And so we just have to keep an eye on MBI, what their vetting is of these plans to reach that. Since we'll run into the same issues of are you checking for oversubscribed? Do they have enough backhaul? So like this might be things we have to stay on top of MBI, but at least from the federal rules side, it's going to minimize the impact of NTIA on mass. So we'll be back to just debating with MBI what's appropriate solutions. Second issue come across is Comcast dumped a bunch of the locations back into the BEAD pool. So there are more BEAD BSLs in Bourne because they are not honoring their agreement under GAP.
They are Comcast.
It appears, based upon the current BSL list, that Comcast is gotten rid of lots of locations and is not going to serve those.
Okay. Despite their agreement with us.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Is it
after the Bob round, it's going to be direct negotiation with MBI for whatever BSLs. So you in any real world scenario, we're going to just have to negotiate with MBI what to do with the BSLs in Bourne, given how few we have and how Open Cape's probably the only bidder here. We're going to have to come up to what we want and have the town suggested to the select board that they talk to MBI and tell them, hey, this is what Bourne wants. Let's just direct negotiate it, because that's ultimately where this is all going. Either you do it under the Bob round or you do it during negotiation round. We're going to, be in some kind of negotiation with you one way or another. Especially if GAP now is back in play, if Comcast has defaulted on an agreement.
Brian, I have a question. What kind of schedules are we going to be on here? Number one, what are the, in terms of the benefit of the bargain round and the other parts of grant letting, if you will, or negotiation with MBI. At what point does the select board need to go in with recommendations / requests / demands?
As soon as possible. I think the Bob round already closed. Let me check. It was it was literally a 7-day round. So
7
that's
days?
7 days. I wish I was joking.
Hmm.
Let me look. Round closes July 31st. Yeah, so it's closed already. So we're in direct negotiation. Either, whoever bid in Bob, which is, Open Cape, and then who else, I don't know. I can probably request the list of who else pretty quickly, because who and what tech we managed to get during round one. So we can probably get a refresh of that. But yeah, we're basically direct negotiating. So we really need to make recommendations to the select board and have the select board member directly negotiate with MBI, Open Cape, and just sort this mess out, because that's just how it's going to be here. It's not going to be a formal round. It's going to be a negotiation. I don't see any way around that.
Okay, just a question to anybody else. Is Brian breaking up, or is that my reception here?
That's got to be you.
Oh, okay. I've got my video off. I'm at, as low ready request from not Comcast, but Verizon now as I possibly can, and it's still not good.
It's the other day I was walking in my neighborhood and just checked my speed on AT&T, which is normally very decent. I mean, I can normally get, something between 20 and 50 down and 10 up, and I was getting like 2 and the upload speed was virtually nil.
Okay, well,
So
just in terms of open meeting, I want to make sure it's just one of us, because if we start breaking up, the gist of the meeting isn't being recorded by Bourne Community TV, and we might have again open meeting problems if people can't understand what's going on. Okay, but it's only me for the time being. If anybody starts to hear a breakup or anything, just shout that out, and maybe we wait it out. Maybe the ether will clear up.
And to avoid the open meeting issue, I'll just mute my microphone since it's my dad's appointment, and I'll be on listening in one ear.
Okie doke. Okay. Let's see. Okay, just in terms of a way forward, Anne Marie, when is the next meetings of the select board?
We meet on the end of the month, 26th, given Marlene, the TA's schedule of vacation time. So we're actually flip-flopping the Board of Sewer Commissioners meeting for the 16th, the 19th, I believe, and then the 26th will be the next select board meeting.
The 26th. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm
I
thinking
mean,
of
that's going to be a very jam-packed meeting as it is, because we were
right.
trying to navigate that with our meeting this past Tuesday with some things on the agenda that we wanted to get on, but it's quite jam-packed. I believe we're going to be having a public hearing for reorganization of some of the departments, which will be lengthy. And then yeah, so it's a jam pack. So I'm saying beginning of September, perhaps, if it can.
What I'd like to do, if everybody's okay, is call a meeting for the Thursday before that, and then in a committee of the whole, we kind of draft a set of recommendations, or maybe I can task Brian to start that, a set of recommendations to the select board uh, for making requests to MBI for direct negotiations with Comcast or whatever. And we work most of the way through that. And I'd like to get that in the queue for the select board, even though it's not going to get on an agenda.
Yeah, I definitely send it to
Basically,
you
our
know,
past notes still apply here. Um, reject the gap deal, update it for the fact that they aren't in compliance with, and enter direct negotiations with Open Cape or Verizon.
I think the key item right now here is that again, because they're dropping DSLs off without any consultation with the town. Just express let's be very direct. Express the concern of the select board about this. Send it to MBI and request that MBI take appropriate action with a Comcast grant if it's been actually a contract let, to talk about non-compliance with either the proposal or the contract that they've let from that, and request that they revisit the whole thing if necessary. If this is a one-of that they've dropped these, then how does Comcast propose to fill those in? And if they don't have a satisfactory answer, then they don't comply with our original request that whatever upgrades happen serve the entire town.
This is going to
Uh,
be too slow, unfortunately. Um, we probably have a week.
oh
So
boy.
the member of the
Okay.
select board and some of the committee is just going to have to get on a call with MBI and hash out what the options are, and then do it. If they're in default of their contract, that means all of the locations should be defaulted, and then they enter direct negotiations with Open Cape. There's really no, unless Verizon put in a bid during a Bob round, I don't see how it could work. If MBI has to start assigning locations, they have a lot of discretion to do whatever they want. So I think we need to approach them with what we want, which is reliable internet for Bourne, and work backwards on the details there, because I don't know if it's going to be gap money defaulted and put into the pot. I don't know if it's Bob money.
Well,
It's a negotiation.
I think it's fair to say, and correct me, Anne Marie, from your perspective on the select board, that we made our request known that we wanted complete and decent service for the entire town, and just express concern that apparently they've kind of ad hoc dropped some of the sites from their request for funding to under BEAD at least, and have shown no other evidence that they've gone
Under gap.
under gap, I guess. I'm sorry. Have shown no other evidence that they're going to serve those via another means. And if Comcast has decided to do that, frankly, what's to stop them later on from asking for a contract amendment to say, well, gee, we don't want to serve A, B, C, and D. Here's a bunch more that we don't want to serve. So just we're not giving you an alternative. And again, the town's request was complete service for the whole town, and just emphasize that. Anne Marie, would you be available sometime if we could set up a call with with MBI. And I'm thinking about this. Brian is the one who knows the most detail about which ones have been dropped. Um, so
And for legal risk and all that, the one thing that's actually, I guess, helpful here is the Bob Brown has removed town input as a requirement. So if we were to have a generalized conversation, it's ultimately MBI's decision because the town's input has no legal bearing on the program. So I guess that actually might be somewhat helpful under this because of the tight time frame. That's why they did that, because
so
the state
essentially
could move
this,
faster than the towns.
yeah. So, but essentially, if that is the case, and there's more funding coming out, and we have no input to that, this is kind of the last possible time that we can have any influence on MBI. And Anne Marie, would it be objectionable if we just point that out again? We're just following on the December 2023 letter where we asked for complete service for the town. And we've learned that they're backing off from that, and we're expressing our concern.
I mean, yeah, we have to, like, I can't do something independently of the board and just, so what I would need permission from the board that that's what they want to do, to call MBI directly and negotiate or discuss, Comcast and their contract. That's, we do have a contract with Comcast, not specifically, through the GAP program, but we do have a contract with them. So that would have to go through the whole board first, unfortunately.
If there's any way that, oh boy. Okay. Again, I just don't want to lose the opportunity.
I can talk to the TA and I can talk with Melissa and see, if there is, depending on what the gist of the phone call is, if it's just information purposes, that
Well, again,
may happen, but if it's any type of negotiation and discussion of contract or even, like the letter we sent, then that's something that the board has to give me the authority to do.
Understood. Again, this is
I understand the need. I understand the urgency.
But again,
so
this is just once again
The
an
first
emphasis.
call would be information gathering, because it's like because MBI has 100% control here. There's no rule book. So I think the first call would definitely be information gathering. Potentially that information gathering is what they are thinking of doing, and then that would be something we would probably need to give the select board immediately to say if they're okay with or want to negotiate from there. I think that's how we strictly keep it information gathering.
At that point, we could make a recommendation for the full select board to vote on. But once again, our understanding on that last meeting we had with Comcast was that they did intend to serve the entire town, as well as obviously serve the BSLs, et cetera, that had been identified in the challenge process. But the big part is that our request and conditional letter of support was for serving the entire town, and now we have evidence that they're backing off on that. And just a request to MBI for information. What is the basis for that? Was that a one-of? And how does MBI plan to make sure those locations get served? That'd be the gist of it. What's the way forward?
Or are they defaulting the whole agreement and reassigning it to someone else? Yeah.
Well, I think very generally, what is MBI's way forward here? If Comcast, for whatever reason, is this a one-of? Is this the first of other I don't know, technology-based call them defaults where they decide not to serve locations? And how is MBI going to protect against that? Because we have to rely on them. Okay, well, Anne Marie, you got the gist of it. It is information gathering. And at some point, once we know what MBI's thoughts on this are, we can, one, inform the full select board, and number two, this committee can make appropriate recommendations one way or the other.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that would be a formal agenda item before the select board.
Correct.
Okay.
Bob, or if you want to just shoot me some questions, so I have them in the event that, I can independently make the phone call.
Gotcha. Okay. Brian, if you could just get a identification of the BSLs that apparently have been dropped by Comcast.
Without breaching the CostQuest license, let's just call it all of Bassett's Island.
I
Okay.
thought
Instead of-
Bassett's Island was going to be done by Open Cape.
Nope, only 2 BSLs. And so the rest of the island was being done by Comcast under GAP.
Okay. If I remember correctly, so the CAI locations were approved by MBI, correct? Not Comcast. That they approved everything we put in at this point.
Sorry, say the question again.
Well, that MBI approved the original CAIs that we submitted. Is that correct?
This is the CAIs are a separate issue. These are the BSLs, so like the residential buildings.
Okay.
Yeah, the CAIs are kind of I guess they're a separate process right now. Okay, so action item for me is to send Anne Marie a list of questions for discussion with MBI, and should that go, Brian? Should that call be made directly to Michael Baldino?
Yeah, only Baldino has authority to do this.
Okay.
This stuff gets complicated real quick. Between the CAIs, the BSLs, the GAP program, various GAP rounds, the Bob round, and then direct negotiation. This is a little bit complex. Hard to distill down to a few questions.
Okay. Again, Brian, there was, have you been able to look over the, I guess the discussion that was at the Cape Cod Technology Council with Baldino? I was stuck in traffic in Boston. I wasn't able to attend, and I don't think you were either because of your particular situation.
I got half of the call and asked Baldino some questions. He directed me to look at the full RFP, and I might be surprised what was in there. And I was very surprised as to what was in there. The call came kind of quick after the docs came out, so no one really knew what was going on. So
that
yeah,
is
they talked about the new round. Yeah, they talked about the new round, the changes to the CAIs, the changes to the performance standards, and then I pressed him to have another office hours since everyone was basically lost. And so they had another MBI office hours, and I attended that. So that we all had somewhat of a clue, and that's how we're able to figure out that the changes here are not that bad. You just have to understand how all the definitions of everything have changed.
Okay. Okay. Again, I just want to make sure we're not missing anything. Okay. With regard to the CAIs and the fact that they've dropped all the 12-step program
Well,
post
so
locations.
dropped it's not quite. So the CAI list is still the same as the before. Just when a provider applies for the money, they have to prove that those CAIs still count. So, boiling it all down, we need to check with AA if they get any federal dollars for any type of digital equity that we can stretch to meet it, the new requirement to keep them all on.
Well, is it any kind of federal dollars or just towards their program, right? And
Towards digital equity. I'll get the exact definition. There's like skills, and I'll go find it. There was like a sentence that you have to figure out how to maximize the mileage on.
Right. So if they get federal money just for conducting their program to help people who suffer with alcoholism, that doesn't count. It only counts if they're putting the money towards some kind of technology that would apply.
That or finding jobs or something. I'll get you the sentence. It's pretty, I just gotta paste it and then we'll figure out how to use it.
Just a couple of data points. As most of you know, the Pecasset Village Community Building hosts several 12-step programs. The biggest one is called Hit the Deck Running. They're there every single day. Their accounting basically is a coffee can that the participants put their money in every day. And they count that up, and then when they get enough money together, they pay rent, and maybe buy coffee and a few other things. And they might get from a national AA group, they might get some literature and other things that are sent to them. They were attempting during COVID to do some of this online using people's personal email addresses, and I think they might have They might have bought one commercial or business Zoom account, but the likelihood that they're getting federal money intended for this for at least anybody I know in Bourne, and I think there are 6 12-step programs in Bourne, I think is very remote. So I don't know how to even start to dig in and document this. Anyway, I'll make some more inquiries, but the little I've asked says that they're very, very loose groups. Okay, can everybody hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Silence. All of a sudden, silence comes in. I look quickly and see how many bars I have, and I still have 1 bar, so I'm still sort of online. Okay, so I think we're done with BEAD, GAP, and follow-on funding. Jed, for future reference, you might put GAP, BEAD, comma, benefit of the bargain, and just say individual contracts after that, so we have the leeway to discuss all of those under one item here.
Got it.
Okay. Next item on the agenda. Let me look here. One moment. Again, the Tech Council invited Michael Baldino. Geez, it must have been 2 weeks ago, and I think we have discussed that already. Anybody have anything further, Brian? Anything further to say about the Tech Council?
No, it was just Baldino was on.
Catch-up meeting. Just for everybody's benefit, Brian is going to step into his father's room here and go on mute. He will still be online and a participant. And just if anybody has questions to him, we'll kind of pile those up. But I'm not sure anything immediate is needed that I can't. I've already discussed some of these things with him that I can't summarize. In terms of Mass Broadband Coalition, there has been no activity. In terms of other towns, Jed, anything at all from Falmouth?
Very little. So they've been meeting in executive session, and they're not publishing minutes. They've been pretty close to the vest about it. What I've seen in the newspapers, they're talking to GoNetspeed and one other private contractor about doing some limited work in Falmouth. They were talking about coming down Main Street or maybe doing some businesses. So just some very limited stuff. That's about it in Falmouth.
Okay, my understanding is that Main Street is already served by Open Cape
And Comcast, yeah.
and Comcast,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah,
okay,
and Verizon's coming to town.
right. So they'll have potentially 4 different services for the business area in Falmouth.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's been noted in a couple of places that it's unlikely that a private contractor is going to be able to get a lot of traction. I don't know how they would be able to pull it off.
Mhm. Okay. And I have not heard anything from or about any other towns. And has anybody, Jed or anybody else, heard of any activity of other towns?
No, not really. I mean, I think everybody's kind of. I think the Verizon news from a few months ago has kind of dampened a lot of activity around doing something municipal level in the internet.
Uh-huh. Okay.
When Verizon came to the Cape Cod Technology Council and said, our plan is to build out 9 towns all the way to Chatham. Um, they're already doing some work in Wellfleet. I think a lot, for the most part, at the municipal level, I don't think anybody has the energy to go any further because they feel like Verizon is going to be an adequate competitor to Comcast. That's kind of the tone I get from what I've been reading.
Okay. Um, uh, the next item is the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe. We've received some information that the tribe, the Mashpee Wampanoags, etc., only are participating in the benefit of the bargain round. So we don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
they and their consultant were on all the calls, so they are actively in it, and they were listed as a qualified bidder. So I don't see them backing out because they were in all the other rounds. So
Yep.
I'm sure
Who is
it's
there?
roughly the same as the past plans. Use fiber, build out all the eligible locations, and call it a day.
Yep. Who is their consultant? Just out of curiosity.
Fuji something. Some big international company that does this. So they called in to be a consultant.
Okay.
I just recognized the guy because I talked to him before whenever the tribe had questions that they couldn't figure out, and called us before bothering MBI.
Okay. Good to know. One data point is that this is pure curiosity. If you see any information about the tribe now has what potentially would be tribal lands in or near Taunton, and they're opening a gaming room, trying to expand it, basically slot machines. If you scan it, just watch for any activity where they are working with the Taunton municipal light plant for their internet broadband connections, just out of curiosity. And I have no information that they're actually doing that. But okay, moving on. We've just heard from Anne Marie earlier that the digital equity plan grant application was submitted on time. So at least for the time being, those funds are protected. We hope. So keep your fingers crossed. Anne Marie, if
Baldino specifically stated that the money for Bourne's grant comes from a previous pot, not subject to the federal changes, so the money is safe.
okay,
Correct.
excellent. Anne Marie, if my particular suspicion on this and other grants is if you have money, spend it and implement whatever you're going to implement very quickly. And it's much easier to defend when you put invoices in for payback for money you've already spent than sending plans in. Gee, we're going to do this for the next 2 years. We're having that issue with another organization in town with an EPA grant. So if I guess Liz is taking the lead on implementing this, if she needs advice on particular parts, spending the money, reviewing the contracts, et cetera, we have expertise in the committee that can help her there. Okay. Moving forward, American Connection Corps. I haven't talked to Scott McFarland who's based in Iowa, who is running this, but my suspicion is that it's unlikely that these funds are going to survive. If this is kind of an offshoot under the umbrella of the AmeriCorps program, which is not going to be funded in 2026. So,
well, these seats were funded by Comcast private grant, so its funding comes down to Comcast continuing to fund them. So it's probably worth the email to ask them if they've got funding for next year from Comcast. They probably know a year in advance. It's probably worth the email.
I mean, it's okay. The other question is, it funds the seats. Where does the seat sit on Cape Cod? That's the other big thing. We have to have a host organization. And if it isn't the AmeriCorps within the county, what else could it be? Could it be something in the Cape Cod Commission? And a couple of discussions with David Still said that was a decision to be made 2 levels up above him, and he was tabling it for the time being just because of low priority for them. Um, okay. Um, that's all we about American Connection Corps. The we've already had some discussion about the Bartlow's Landing cell tower and the letter of support. Once again, I made or at least tried to make comments in the online meeting in my personal support for the cell tower, just because, as you can hear, my cell connection right here is horrible. In any case, so a couple of us have put in support for it as private citizens. Some of my neighbors who are members of the country club, golf club, I guess it is, have expressed dismay that I as an individual would support that. And they asked if the committee was supporting that, and I said that would be a decision from the select board, and I left it at that. End of discussions with one neighbor. Anything further on that poll attachment review by Telecom and DPU? Brian, I haven't seen
I'll
anything.
just point out on the monopole that the subcommittee at the Cape Cod Commission started the meeting 5 minutes ago to continue the DRI review, and there's another meeting next Thursday.
Okay. Have they posted when that possibly would be forwarded to the full Cape Cod Commission?
I can't
schedule.
quite tell. I mean, the fact that they're meeting 2 weeks in a row tells me they got to be getting close.
Mhm.
Next Thursday's meeting's at 5 p.m. That's what it said. Today's was at 10.
Okay. The next item I have is Comcast Cable TV. And actually, I'm going to ask Jennifer McGrail if she's listening online to put something in the chat, if you could, as to what the status of the equipment installation is, and if you're satisfied with it, or do you have to defer that to your full board? But is that on schedule? Anything that this committee, as the official representative, I guess, for the town in terms of dealing with the cable TV license, anything that we need to do to facilitate whatever Comcast is doing, make it happen quicker or whatever? Jennifer says, anybody who's looking, that they've got the encoders, things are moving forward, and nothing is needed at this time. So,
Yeah, she says they have a cable TV issue in-house, but the encoders have arrived. Does anybody have Comcast TV and they could go to one of the public channels, see if the video's improved?
I do have it. I can check on that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not
Next select board
suggesting you do it
meeting.
immediately. I'm just saying that it's sometime before the next meeting.
Yeah, I mean,
See
I
if
can
the
go. I
video-
can go check on it. But the thing is, that right now, unless they're showing something live, everything's going to be recorded under the old standard, right? So,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
so I have to look and see like the next select board meeting, or it's
Yeah. I'm
live.
just I don't think it's a significant issue, but if somebody has it, they could just take a look.
I will take a look at that. I'll see when the next. Anne Marie, when's the next live select board meeting?
Oh, she said that they're live on 9 right now,
Okay.
and that we should definitely see improvements in the video quality. So that's great.
I will look at it, Channel 9. I will
We are
see-
having an acoustic issue in the building itself when we have live at, for our select board meetings at the community building. So we're looking to navigate that within the next, and make some recommendations for the next budget season to sort of improve on the acoustics within, but that's not necessarily the acoustics for online. It's sort of the
They
acoustics
use
in the
separate
room.
microphones, Anne Marie, and that's the problem there, is it?
Right, there's
No, they don't
problems
feel-
with
they
the
don't feed the
microphones
PA.
themselves for online doesn't seem to be a problem, but in the room, So there's a little bit of acoustics issues going on, but we'll see if we can get them resolved.
I
Yeah,
will
there's
look
no
before this meeting
amplification
ends,
in the
I'll
room at
take a
all.
look. Hold on.
Yeah, again, Jen just said the problem is the speakers in the room, and it's not their signal. Again, there are no speakers in the room. When the select board sits around the table and speaks, if there's
Right.
mumbling in the back row or anything, it's impossible to hear what's going on up at the front. And that's just because there's no amplification, and the acoustics in the room itself are very poor. But that's not an equipment issue, at least as far as the cable transmission.
Right.
So, John, Jen has pointed out that channel 6 has an HD encoder on
Right.
it.
1072. As soon as this meeting, because I don't have a TV upstairs where my little
Oh,
office
no, that's
is.
fine. I don't think we
I
need
will
to
look and
keep
I
the
will
meeting
email
here.
everyone immediately to take a look at it and see.
Okay, end of that discussion. Again, I think the issue of a possible annual review meeting with Comcast has been tabled, at least until all of the video equipment is put in. Again, we put in a letter of started a letter of non-compliance, which Comcast picked up on right away and jumped on it. But until that's resolved, the select board is not going to ask for an annual review meeting. So I would wait until to hear that BCTV is fully satisfied with everything that Comcast has provided, and they did what they said they would do, and they were required to do under their license. So stay tuned on that. The next item is we apparently stumbled across a persistent open meeting non-compliance violation by the Mass Technology Board. We are not the only, call us victims for lack of a better term, but the only people who have suffered because of that are organization or individuals. And the Attorney General's office is looking at a complete fix for the tech board in terms of their operations. So is that a fair summary? Brian's offline right now, but I think that's the bottom line. They keep had switched back and forth between in the room meetings to hybrid meetings without actually advertising the hybrid meeting. So people who people were locked out, for lack of a better term. I have heard nothing new on the One Touch Make Ready legislation. Again, the legislature is kind of in summer recess, so I don't think anything is particularly happening there. Okay, moving on for the next meeting and future agenda items. Again, I don't know when Anne Marie is going to be able to get a call in to MBI and want to tell us. My guess is it probably is not going to be next Thursday. So I would propose that the Thursday afterward be the next meeting. I don't have a calendar quite handy, but that's the 20.
Yeah, that's the 21st. Yeah. So, Anne Marie, can you unshare so I can
Oh,
share a
sure.
proposed agenda here? Let's try this one. Yeah. So the 21st I got here, Bob.
Okay, excellent.
And then I added these changes here.
Hmm.
Do we need to keep all these other things down here? Is this still?
Again, we're not going to have any input to that, nor is it going to affect anything that we do, as far as I can tell.
Right.
So I'm happy not, I'm happy to leave these things on and just gloss over them when there's been
Okay.
no activity.
Okay.
If anybody watching on television or anybody who decides to participate online wants more information, We'll get our minutes fully in order and refer back anybody back to past meeting discussions on this. I think we can
Okay.
afford there. We've
Yep.
got a fairly robust set of minutes going back 2 years now.
Okay.
And then once again, I want to lastly, as we kind of finish this off, I want to thank everybody for agreeing to participate for another year and getting sworn in, especially Brian, who made a special trip from the hospital in Boston to come down for an hour, get sworn in, and then go right back up again the other day. So we're at as full strength as we're going to be, unless we have a couple of volunteers to fill the other 2 open positions on the committee. Okay. With that, I think this agenda list looks fine. Is there anything else that needs to be put on this for next week? 2 weeks from now, I should say. Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Brian, we do need you to sign on and to vote. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
John and Jed seconds. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Brian
Brian
says aye.
signed on and said aye. Jed said aye.
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 John said aye, and Bob, the chair, says aye. Okay, at 10:15 on the 7th, I want to thank you all for participating. Okay, have a good week and enjoy the cool weather until the heat hits again.